The donut is a resilient multi-billion-dollar industry fueled by insatiable demand. The average American eats 31 donuts every year, and the United States is the battleground of a never-ending war between chains and neighborhood mom and pops. Dunkin and Krispy Kreme account for 55% of all donut shops in the United States. Yet it's on the West Coast where the industry has gone through the greatest evolution. Here, donuts are a canvas for gourmet ingredients, unorthodox flavors, elegant decorations, and provocative designs. In this Modern MBA exclusive, we'll break down the business of donuts from the macro lens of the two biggest chains in the world to two West Coast shops looking to disrupt the status quo. This episode is sponsored by NetSuite. As we've scaled Modern MBA from one individual into a talented team across the US, we've outgrown our legacy business systems. Even key essentials like keeping track of expenses, projects, production costs, filming, travel, payroll, private servers to host our data, footage, and post-production files have all been a nightmare as we have to stitch various tools from multiple vendors just to make sense of our day-to-day. Let's do the quick math. If you're a decision maker, a business owner, or a leader at a company, the less time you're bogged down in overhead, the higher margin you have, the greater the profits you retain, and the more your team can focus on delivering a great product or service. Everything is expensive now, but when you're overspending like we were on operations, making simple decisions is even more cost prohibitive as everything involves more systems and vendors. To reduce costs and headaches, smart businesses like Modern MBA are graduating to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one platform and one source of truth. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite lives in the cloud with no hardware required, accessible from anywhere. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one unified business management suite. You improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. Over 37,000 companies have already made the move, so do the math. See how you'll profit with NetSuite. By popular demand, NetSuite has extended its one-of-a-kind flexible financing program for a few more weeks. Head to netsuite.com/modernmba. 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 Krispy Kreme elevated the basic donut into a premium branded product with the consistency of a McDonald's and the experience of an Apple store. Donuts, like most pastries, are handmade. In contrast, Krispy Kreme's donuts are automated, and the manufacturing process is as much marketing as it is function. Customers come from far and wide to see the production process where hundreds of donuts are cut by machine, fried on a river of hot oil, and evenly coated by a waterfall of sugary glaze. In the late 90s, Americans were head over heels for Krispy Kreme. The open kitchen was must-see entertainment, the volume and freshness was unprecedented, and the taste was distinct. People didn't want plain glazed, they wanted Krispy Kreme. Driven by excitement and potential, the company went public in 2000. They had the product, means to scale, and proven retail experience. All they needed was to meet demand. Krispy Kreme committed, scaling to over 1,000 stores in 15 years. They made millions selling donuts to the public, selling supplies to franchisees, and collecting royalties. The donut business isn't rocket science. It's a volume game where the more you sell, the more you make. Yet the bottleneck was demand. Each Krispy Kreme production line had the capacity to make 780 to 12,000 donuts every hour. Yet every store had to constrain production and leave equipment idle. In response, the chain aggressively expanded channels as the volume of product mattered more than the venue in which the sale took place. By the late 2000s, Krispy Kreme was everywhere, in supermarkets, gas stations, convenience stores, and airports. But as they became more widespread, the novelty wore off. Despite an initial surge in revenue, the company struggled to reclaim the same top line in subsequent years, even as more franchisees signed on. They'd peaked, and the regressing retail demand was only padded by the wholesale business and sales of supplies to franchisees. The average franchise made less and less due to ever-increasing saturation and cannibalization. Volume took priority over quality. Retailers found carrying Krispy Kreme donuts to be troublesome, as they would regularly receive stale, leftover inventory to sell. The number of wholesale accounts dwindled year after year. Facing financial troubles, Krispy Kreme was acquired by private equity in 2016, who spent the next 5 years cleaning up the mess. They implemented a disciplined hub-and-spoke model. One factory produces all the donuts as the quote-unquote hub, and then directly supplies all the stores and wholesale accounts around it. Most Krispy Kreme stores today are smaller, space-efficient fulfillment centers without any kitchens. The hub and spoke model enables the company to achieve the same sales coverage as before without compromising on quality or overextending logistics. By being strategic with where hubs are placed and only then building everything else around the hub, they can ensure delivery and sustainability at scale. Krispy Kreme has tried to evolve beyond its trademark glazed donut with consumer packaged goods, yet all of those ventures to date have been unsuccessful. While the hub and spoke model resolves operational obstacles, it doesn't solve demand. The company has leaned into limited time flavors that are easy additions to existing products and cheap to source. The scarcity drives purchase urgency, and tie-ins with iconic candies like Oreo, Twix, Hershey's, and Biscoff help maintain mainstream appeal. Krispy Kreme at present is a better oiled machine with stronger earnings, but growth is still limited and margins remain thin as a single product company. While adding McDonald's is a win, history shows that offering Krispy Kreme where customers are is no slam dunk, and there's no telling when that novelty will wear off. Dunkin' Donuts, on the other hand, has performed much stronger than Krispy Kreme over the years, with 6 times the amount of stores worldwide and 7 times greater earnings per store than its main rival. Dunkin's strategy has been to treat donuts as a building block to selling higher margin, higher priced products. The chain has been on a steady path of transformation over the past 10 years, evolving from a regional donut concept into an all-day drink destination with baked goods and sandwiches. Drinks are the main growth engine for Dunkin', with over 60% of sales in the US being beverages. As they've grown, donuts have only become even more of an afterthought. They're regularly given away for free, they're packaged as loss leaders for promotions, and have been stripped out of the company logo and name. While international stores are Krispy Kreme's fastest growing division, it's the domestic stores that are Dunkin's strongest performers. And just like their number 2 rival, Dunkin' operates on a hub and spoke model where centralized production facilities make and distribute all the product to each store, who then receive, reheat, and sell individually to the public. There are more donut shops in California than there are in any other state in the country. Los Angeles is home to roughly 1,600 independent donut shops, most of which are no-frills, neighborhood mom-and-pops run by Southeast Asians that have been serving generic $1 donuts in pink boxes for generations. They've been able to sell donuts for so cheap and for so long because they're family businesses with no outside workers or hourly wages. They all use the same industrial commercial mixes, glazes, and fillings for easy production at the expense of taste.
We are going to be using the Dawn Exceptional chopped apple filling to top our donuts.
It's just the Dawn thaw and serve donut.
We do use prepared mixes, and I'm a big advocate of prepared mixes.
We either needed to have people that were highly trained or master bakers, and so, it's kind of cut down on labor, helped with consistency, and helped in the production process itself.
But competition drives innovation. To survive at higher price points, modern LA donut shops focus on product, the one area where the chains and first movers can't compete. This influence has spread to neighboring cities like Portland, Seattle, and Las Vegas. Yet when you're in the trenches trying to claim market share from Krispy Kreme, Dunkin', and the old school mom and pops, product alone isn't enough to win. It's 5 a.m. in Portland and the city is just waking up. On this dark and sleepy block, Makiko Mochi Donuts, one of the hottest donut shops in Portland and a pioneer of mochi donuts in the state, is opening. As a young, single-location small business, Makiko grosses more in a year than the average Krispy Kreme with a significantly smaller donut-first menu. Their timing as a first mover and their Japanese-American fusion flavors are fleeting advantages as their success in 2 years has invited endless copycats and competition. Instead, Makiko's business is built on product, where their donuts have been engineered from the ground up for experience, efficiency, and profits. Conventional donuts are leavened dough made from wheat flour and yeast cut into rings and fried. As is the case with all fried foods, donuts are unmatched fresh out of the fryer, but suffer from a radically short shelf life. In contrast, Makiko by design eliminates all the time-consuming, error-prone preparation and high perishability that come with conventional donuts. There's no need to wait for the dough to rise, and no fuss with frying, and the product stays fresh for days, not hours. Their donuts are made from butter mochi and rice flour without any rising agents. The wet batter is piped into molds and baked in an electric oven. Because Makiko's donuts are baked, they travel better, the shop can hold inventory for longer, and the product peaks in quality and texture 6 hours in, whereas a conventional donut would have gone stale in the same time frame. And their labor and space requirements are radically simpler. There's no need for commercial hood vents, proofing cabinets, massive dry storage, walk-ins, fryers, or even gas. Their shop runs entirely on electricity, with the only equipment being a microwave for heating glaze, an oven for baking, and 3 mini fridges for cold storage.
In the food industry, your product is typically either high food cost, low labor, like steak, or low food cost, high labor, like making croissants or something like that. Our advantage is that we're low labor and low food costs. Because of that, we're able to capture much better margins and build better wages in and just do a lot more with less revenue. Since our equipment needs are so simple, we can go into a really small space. Our cooking equipment is all electric, so we aren't required to have a hood vent. It really simplifies the cost of the build, and this space is only 650 square feet, and we're able to do really good volume out of here. This is actually an extra fridge that we added after the fact when we realized we were going to be kind of busy here. We have a couple little small equipment items. We have a little countertop ice machine off of Amazon for making cold drinks in the summer. We have a little induction burner for making fillings on the fly. We have a little countertop fryer for making fried chicken and waffles on the weekend. But as far as large cooking equipment, all those smallwares combined are probably less than $1,000. This is the most expensive piece of equipment in here, $3,500 electric oven. Most people spend 10 times that on a hood vent, and at least that on a fryer. And then this is the refrigeration we started with. We store all of our batter in this fridge. We've got it all on display here, ready for the weekend. And then we store all our fillings and glazes in this fridge. And between these two, we can hold about $3,500 worth of product. That's usually plenty for us to get through the day. And everything has its place, as it should, in a small space like this. If you run gas equipment, at least in our locality, you're required to have a hood vent, which, if you're doing a new construction build, adds a lot of cost, it adds a lot of expense. Average hood vent probably costs about $30,000. We did this whole build for, including the equipment, about $95,000. So it would be a huge line item if we were required to do that, but because we're able to control all these other things, we can keep things really low risk by mitigating a lot of these costs that people fall into when they're starting up a business.
Similar to how the McDonald's brothers turned hamburgers into an exact science in the 1960s, Alex has done the same with donuts at Mikiko. Efficiency is the name of the game, and there is no wasted movement. Donuts are made in batches of 80. When the donuts are 10 minutes away from being completed in the oven, they start heating the glaze. Glaze is pre-portioned into pints, and a single pint tops 30 donuts. Fillings are portioned into 12-ounce bottles, and one bottle fills 30 donuts.
My stuff is all gathered in the same place so that after I put in my first tray of donuts, I have 9 minutes instead of 6 minutes, and I can use that extra 3 minutes to grind coffee, do a whole bunch of different stuff.
Given that it only takes 20 minutes to make donuts from piping to finish, Mikiko never runs out. In contrast, conventional donut shops are forced to overproduce as they cannot easily replenish their inventory based on demand without incurring greater risk or waste. This is why most shops would rather just sell out and ask customers to come back tomorrow, given how many hours it takes them to make donuts and the constraint of being able to only produce one flavor or one shape at a time.
Some guy came in yesterday, he bought almost everything we had at like 1 o'clock, but because the operation is so efficient, we can restock in 20 to 30 minutes, which, that's a $125 order. Like, if we're not able to fill that, we lose $125 for the day. If like a slow Monday, that might be all the profit we make on a Monday. It's the difference between break even and making money.
At Mikiko, the only real complexity is in their breakfast sandwiches, which takes 4 minutes from assembly to service. While the sandwiches drive check sizes as a hot, savory complement, they were also put on the menu to maximize utilization, as the buns are made from unglazed, day-old donuts. Alex's relentless pursuit of optimization is not to cut payroll to the point where every worker becomes replaceable. In his mind, success is execution and service as much as it is about execution and product, day in and day out. But being an inviting neighborhood destination is something that only Mikiko can accomplish, especially as his competition remains dead set on hiring grumpy teenagers at minimum wage and opening up storefronts anywhere they can fit a display case.
Especially in Southern California, if you've seen Donut King, there's a huge culture of Cambodian and Laotian families coming over to open these shops and like sponsoring other family members to come over and help out. And because it's a family business, you know, they're not really subject to the same thing where they're just hiring staff and paying prevailing wage. So a lot of these businesses that rely on family labor are able to get by on a lot less because they have such low overhead. And so they are able to set the market down there by competing on price. For that reason, the premium donut market in LA is sort of a challenge because there's such a precedent and such an established culture. In the counter service context, a lot has been lost in the customer experience. In Portland and a lot of places, there's a lot of apathetic service. And I think when people find a place where they actually feel welcome and have a good experience, they're much, much more likely to return. And a big part of ensuring that is making sure that our staff are happy. Everybody who works for me full-time at any level at the donut shop made over $50,000 last year. You know, we start everybody at least $20, $21 an hour, and it's a small tip pool, so we try to do everything we can to create good pay for our staff so that they feel invested and they care. I want any job that we create to be a living wage role.
To Alex's point, delivery and online orders make up just 10% of their sales and have been trending down for months. The vast majority of his business today is still walk-ins from regulars and first-timers. Yet efficiency doesn't take precedence over experience. All glazes and fillings are made in-house, and every donut is filled and garnished to order. And while the competition serves the safe crowd pleasers like standard chocolate and plain glaze, Makiko never serves basic flavors.
Of course, to hit that $1.50 per donut price point, you have to be using the same commodity ingredients as the grocery store, as Krispy Kreme, and you're gonna get a pretty analogous product. We make everything from scratch here. The black sesame and Marionberry jam, I think, is a great example. If you're not familiar with sesame, you wouldn't really know where to start with that flavor, but we say it's like a PB&J for fancy little kids, and you might want to try it then. So if we do like a chocolate flavor, we're gonna zhuzh it up somehow, but try to keep it approachable enough for your 5-year-old. We have our niches as well, where they're all gluten-free and dairy-free and nut-free, which is just a bonus because they stand on their own merits. They're good for everybody. But being able to capture a good chunk of the population that isn't otherwise able to eat your average grocery store donut, that's important. And when those people find something that is actually good and reliable, they're a loyal customer for life.
Alex's precision in product and operations extends into pricing and packaging. Makiko's donuts are priced at $3 to $4 each, which sits between the cheap $1 to $2 mom and pop or chain donut and the $4 to $5 artisan donuts from local high-end patisseries. With 8 flavors on the menu, people have a hard time narrowing down their purchase to just 2 to 3. The best deal instead is to get one of each for just $25. You get to try everything, the most bang for your buck, and the lowest price per donut. Their average order size is $15 on weekdays and $18 on weekends. Ultimately, this pricing wouldn't work without a compelling product, as every flavor must be enticing enough to generate demand for volume purchases. Labor costs sit at 35% despite paying every worker above market wages, rent is 5%, and food costs are 15%. Makiko's operating profit margin sits at 45%, higher than Krispy Kreme and comparable to Dunkin, all without the luxury of lobbying, franchising, million-dollar advertising budgets, and economies of scale. Alex is a rare breed. He's a progressive owner who is as much a donut connoisseur as he is a shrewd restaurateur. Alex didn't invent butter mochi. He wasn't the first to bake it in the shape of donuts, nor did he work in donut shops before Makiko. But like a good businessman, he saw an opportunity and ran with it. Alex experienced his first mochi donuts years back at a random coffee shop during a vacation in California. He found the product compelling enough to bring to Portland, looked up some recipes online, tweaked the product, and then built a business around it. In just 4 years, Makiko has gone from an idea to the leading mochi donut shop in Portland, with a second store underway in Beaverton.
I think there's something to be said for the concept of enough. If you can retain a 30% net margin and pay all your people extremely well, why would you not do that instead of making 40% and having to rehire every month, having constant turnover, having to deal with all of the stress that trying to penny pinch entails? I think, it's worth investing in people at the end of the day.
The key elements of a business are product, pricing, talent, and market, but not every small business and not every donut shop gets it right. Few owners ever reach the success of Mikiko, even when operating in bigger markets and with deeper domain expertise. As one of the wealthiest cities and the donut capital of the country, Los Angeles is where the competition is fiercest, but the opportunity is also the greatest. People in LA embrace food innovation faster than other cities, where simple desserts like cupcakes, ice cream, and donuts have been elevated into upscale indulgences. Peter has followed this trend and has just opened his shop, selling $5 to $6 artisan yeast donuts with gourmet organic ingredients and elaborate toppings. He's built his business on product. Peter makes everything from his brioche to his cream, glaze, and frosting from scratch every morning at 3 a.m. He uses the recipes he's honed over the years working at various donut shops around the country, and he's devoted to details no matter how laborious, dicing fresh apples for fritters and whipping graham cracker buttercream for deeper flavor. All the hours and effort Peter spends making his donuts is how he justifies pricing. It's quality over quantity. Would you rather indulge in 6 generic donuts made from tubs of artificial glaze and bag mixes, or 2 of his for the same cost? Peter is chasing after the connected, affluent Los Angeles upper middle class and elite, yet catering to this niche brings its own challenges.
I want people to take pictures of their box of donuts and be like, oh, they're so pretty, I don't even want to eat them. Especially in LA, people want to be trendy and be the first on things, so people eat with their eyes. If they don't look that good, why would I spend $5 on it? People care about their physique maybe a little bit more here, or a little bit more health conscious. If I'm gonna eat a really fatty cheeseburger, it might as well be like Shake Shack versus McDonald's. In terms of however many calories I have left in the day, might as well make it worthwhile.
A dozen of his donuts cost $45, 3 times more than a dozen from Krispy Kreme and Dunkin, and nearly twice as much as a flight of 8 from Mikiko. Peter's donuts are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also heftier, denser, and richer. While conventional shops pay 50 cents or less per box, Peter spends 6 times that on packaging. He pays $2 to $3 each for custom boxes with dividers just so his donuts look as good at home as they do in the shop.
If you're gonna charge somebody $4 a donut, $5 a donut, they want to get a box of them, they should look very pretty when they get to their destination. People appreciate the fact that things don't touch. It's just kind of like a value add versus here's $50 for all these donuts, but kind of just get them all in a big container. By the time I get to wherever I'm going, my cinnamon's on the chocolate, my maple's on the glaze.
Peter's shop, Lola's Donuts, has been open for just 2 months. He's chosen to situate in a popular mall, and by being right next to Starbucks and Urban Outfitters, he hopes to tap into their foot traffic. While high prices equals high margins, the donut business is still a volume game.
So in my mind, it's kind of just brand recognition. If you're in a mall, a lot of people walk by. More people are gonna see your name and be like, okay, I see people walking out of there with donuts. I should go check it out. I'm looking for larger orders, the people that are gonna come and order a couple dozen donuts for their office, 4 dozen donuts for their kids' class or what have you. I'd rather have 100 people collectively buy 100 dozen donuts from me versus having to find 650 people to do the same amount of sales.
From a production standpoint, Peter can only make what he can sell, even though it would take him roughly the same amount of time to proof, fry, and glaze 10 donuts as it would 100. Because no one else is spending as much time as he is on product, and past shops he's worked at have all treaded water before taking off, success is only a matter of time.
My price point's crumble cookies price point, so if they're successful and people are buying their cookies, I don't see why my donuts would be any different. I briefly dabbled as a real estate agent. What I learned from that is just if you send one mailer out or you talk to somebody one time and then never follow up with them or they never see you again, they're not gonna call you up out of the blue and be like, hey, you wanna sell my house? You gotta be able to be in the business long enough to have people remember you so they do reach out to you for their parties or what have you. So, you just gotta anticipating a couple more months of being kind of slow.
This is how Peter sees his business. His expertise is undeniable as a passionate craftsman who's been in the game for decades, but being good at your craft and being good at business are 2 different things. When we first spoke with Peter, the shop had just opened and he was optimistic for the future. But as we spent more time with Peter, the cracks in his business became apparent. Sales are so slow that he typically doesn't make a sale until 1 in the afternoon. He grosses at most $2,000 a week or $8,000 in a month, which would be tolerable if he wasn't burning $12,000 every month on rent. He sells 50 to 60 donuts and grosses $150 to $350 on most days. The typical customer buys just 2 donuts for an average order size of just $11. With these sluggish sales, Peter can't hire anyone, but he also can't afford to cut production any more than he already has. He has to keep making and remaking donuts every morning, even if there are leftovers. As a result, his shop lacks the enticing, colorful spread needed to properly dazzle shoppers passing by. While the mall brings Peter's shop the foot traffic and visibility, it also comes with greater headaches. While conventional donut shops and bakeries open in the morning and then close early in the afternoon, Peter is contractually required by the mall to follow standard business hours. He pulls 14 to 18-hour workdays every day, waking up at 3 a.m. to make donuts, opening at 10 a.m., and twiddling his thumbs for walk-ins until the entire mall closes at 9 p.m. Peter's shop didn't come with the necessary ventilation or refrigeration to support production. His production instead takes place off-premises at a shared commissary 20 minutes away, where he fries and glazes and then transports over the mostly finished product in his car to the mall. As he opens, Peter does the final toppings, but the logistical inefficiencies of this arrangement are apparent. He has to fry as late as possible in a single huge batch before opening, with zero flexibility in inventory and freshness as the day progresses. In business, how you interpret your failures is the difference between finding success or digging a deeper hole. Peter's shop at the mall has been open for just 2 months, but he's been trying to get this concept off the ground for much longer. Before the storefront, Lola's Donuts had initially started years ago as an online brand. But after a year, he clocked in just 3 orders a month and constantly struggled maintaining inventory and flavors. Peter's conclusion was that the problem was product market fit and that the neighborhood of South Los Angeles didn't have the appetite for his donuts. He pivoted to selling in person at farmers markets where he could showcase his product, get closer to his target audience, and build relationships one donut at a time. Yet in 6 months, no one ever came back, leading Peter to believe that he needed to be in a place with more eyeballs and foot traffic. This was when he settled on the mall and jumped headfirst into the first vacancy.
Maybe a little slower, but I still like learning the market. I don't really get too many calls asking about stuff. Yeah, I either just need more visibility or just be there longer and get people to think about you more. If the product's not good, your marketing doesn't really even matter. I'd rather have the product be bomb and that'll bring people in, hopefully.
Like many engineers and craftsmen, Peter's unshakable conviction in his product is so fanatical that it blinds him from seeing the gaps in his business. His shop is unfinished and is still under construction. Even though it's been 2 months since opening, there's no chairs, tables, menu, labels, or even a new coat of paint. You can still see the self-service frozen yogurt dispensers in the wall left by the prior tenant. Yet Peter's unbothered by any of this. He talks about selling horchata, coffee, and hot chocolate next month despite not having refrigeration or cups, fried chicken sandwiches once he orders a $45,000 ventless fryer, and finally some tables, but not chairs because he doesn't want customers lounging all day. He's paid a marketing agency to start advertising his shop through supermarket coupons, which seems counterintuitive given his positioning.
I just signed up with an advertising firm. You know how on the back of grocery store receipts there's all those coupons? I'm going to be on that for 2 grocery stores right by the shop. So that should drive some business in my way, some mall marketing to get people that are on the other side of the mall or down below to come up to get some donuts. I wasn't expecting anything crazy out of the gate, but right now I think it's just more like having to be open at the mall for all these hours, even when you're not doing any sales, kind of hinders your ability to go out and connect and network with people. Every so often, I'm slightly discouraged, but I know the product's good and people that have them enjoy them, so you got to work a little bit harder to make it happen. But yeah, again, I think just grinding it out and not letting the slow days, still make really good donuts, even if you're only gonna sell 3 dozen. You never know who's gonna come in and be like, oh, I want you to do this for me, or these are really good. So yeah, kind of just always bring your A game, and yeah, as long as you just work, and it should work out.
Ultimately, the fate of Lola's Donuts lies with the people of Los Angeles. Perhaps Peter is right. Maybe there is that sudden virality that will lift his business like he's seen for the other donut shops that he's worked at across the country. Every company takes on the personality of their leaders for better and for worse, and it's there that every business finds its edge. Whether that's the precision of Alex at Makiko, the product focus of Peter at Lola's, the economies of scale of Krispy Kreme, and the ruthless numbers optimization of Dunkin. But business is unforgiving and punishes the unprepared and unlucky alike. Even in the world of donuts, product is not everything, passion is no indication of success, hard work is not a moat, and being good at your craft and being good at business are two different things. This episode is sponsored by DeleteMe, a hands-free subscription service that removes your personal information from being sold online. Online privacy isn't just deleting your Facebook account. Data brokers are companies that scrape the internet and public records for personally identifiable information, like your phone number, home, birthday, and family. They then sell this data, which makes you more vulnerable to scams, stalking, identity theft, and phishing, even if you're not on social media. We were blown away with DeleteMe. It is by far the most comprehensive and effective online privacy service that we've ever used. Instead of a black box like some other vendors where you just dump an email and name and then wait for them to tell you they did something, DeleteMe was precise. The service puts you in charge of only the most crucial details and handles all the rest. We filled out our data sheet with our address, name, number, and employment, and it was amazing to customize exactly what we would be comfortable with on the internet, like family members and relatives. What's comforting is that the data sheet can be updated anytime, so DeleteMe can continuously maintain our online privacy. After a couple of days, we got this beautiful 16-page PDF that showed us the results of their work. It named and visualized exactly who had our data, what brokers and listings they had investigated, what kind of personal information it had uncovered, and what data had been removed, and even the scope of the scan. No other online privacy service that we've ever used has come close to this level of transparency and precision, and it's reassuring that DeleteMe automatically does this every 2 months. All we need to do is to wait for the next report to be generated and see for ourselves the strength in privacy quantified over time. What impressed us the most is that DeleteMe is headquartered in the US as a single product company. They do not offer any other services. DeleteMe is focused exclusively on effective, comprehensive, and continuous digital removal of unwanted personally identifiable information, and they're not simply bundling other random services like password managers just to earn a buck. Don't let data brokers profit off your personal information. Get 20% off any DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/modernmba and use promo code modernmba at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/modernmba, code modernmba.